Never knows how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with.
Dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being with me. I had the opportunity to watch a DVD over the weekend. It was more than a notion. Very, 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 very good. And I have with me the producer of that DVD, Harmon Kaslow, film producer and formerly the executive vice president of Amark Entertainment. He has been actively involved in the entertainment industry for over 20 years and has been the executive producer of more than 15 motion pictures. His most recent accomplishment is producing Atlas Shrugged Part 2, and it was released just before the election last year. And I know a whole lot of folks went to see it. I know several of my employees went to see it, and they liked it. It was very, very insightful. And this DVD will soon be released, and we want to tell you exactly how you get it. It is a must-see DVD. You have to have it, folks. Let me bring in Harmon Kaslow to the show. Harmon, good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. Thank you for being back with me again. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, I really appreciate your support. Thank you.
I had the opportunity to see it, the DVD over the weekend, and very, very insightful. I want to play a soundbite here from it. Here is something with Ayn Rand, what she said back about America in an interview with Mike Wallace, 1959. She saw back in 1959 what is really happening today.
Yeah, no, I mean, the book, for your listeners not familiar with the book Atlas Shrugged, was written, in the 40s. It was published in 1957. And really, some people have said it was a parody of, the New Deal policies. And its core message really revolves around, respecting the rights of the individual. And, it's illustrative of what happens when the government, begins to interfere with business, corruption drives policy, when sound, economic principles are superseded by, crony capitalism. And at its core, bad government policy becomes responsible for ousting, innovators and driving away free thinkers and ultimately killing the heart of entrepreneurs, which are really the backbone of any society's growth and prosperity.
So did this begin way back then? Because I was under the impression, well, yeah, I guess I am. It did start then because I remember about 50 years ago when the government came in and took over the hearts and minds of Black Americans. That was like 50 years or so ago. So it's a result of what's been happening way back then. And I noticed today we have more people in America trusting the government than any other time in history that I'm aware of.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it becomes, this whole issue about, entitlement. And you have a, whole group of people that believe that they are entitled to something from the government simply because they exist.
Yeah.
And, this has now led us to a place in time where, we're approaching nearly 50% of our federal budget. This is trillions of dollars that are being paid out in the form of entitlements. And here's a country, that was built on capitalism and creating opportunity. And, we're taking this path that is sucking all of the life out of that opportunity, because to sustain, the level of entitlement spending that the government is imposing, just causes us to have to pay more and more in taxes and receive less and less.
It's amazing. Is Atlas Shrugged Part 2 having the kind of impact that you had hoped for?
Well, the book itself, has been selling, hundreds of thousands of copies for more than 50 years. And one of our goals with the movie was to really, celebrate Ayn Rand's ideas about, respecting the rights of the individual, as well as, creating a new audience for this book. And there are, hundreds of thousands of people across this country who came to the theaters in October and saw the movie. And we're just hoping that when the DVD comes out on February 19th, just another opportunity to reach an audience that we hope really wakes up. I mean, 2014 is going to be another opportunity for us to really right America's ship. And, Atlas Shrugged really becomes illustrative of what happens if we don't take corrective action.
And how can we right America's ship in 2014? What can we do?
Well, I think that we have to look for individuals who really subscribe and believe in the principles upon which this country was founded upon. That the government has a limited role in our lives. That the government should respect the rights of the individual, and that we should resist the sort of this collectivism, socialist point of view that seems to be emanating from Washington, D.C. right now.
I saw something in this last presidential election that surprised me, and that is so many young people voted for Barack Obama. You had 93% of the blacks, which was not a surprise at all, and then a large number of Hispanics. You had the gays, you had the young, white, educated folks voting for him. The Hispanics did it because they want amnesty and they want stuff for free as well. So many young people have been brainwashed to believe in the government. Is it possible to change their minds?
Well, I think what ends up happening over time is people, as they pursue their careers and build their families and begin to think about the legacy that they're going to leave for their family, I think that their values become somewhat more conservative. I think that many young people don't have an appreciation of the sound economic principles that have been proven over time, and somehow believe through some sort of altruistic type point of view that if we all chip in, we're somehow all going to be better. And that model just simply doesn't work.
Yeah.
All you got to do is look at what's going on over in Europe.
I'm looking at 50 years of government impact on Black Americans.
So tell me, why does the SSI now need 10,000 tons of my dangerous inferior metal?
You laid 100 miles of track along the John Galt line that proved them wrong.
You still haven't answered my question. Why? To what purpose?
Rest assured, Mr. Reardon, it's in the public interest.
I'll rest on this. You tell your people that I will not sell any Reardon metal to the State Science Institute at any time, for any price, for any purpose whatsoever.
Mr. Reardon, no one has ever refused to sell a strategic material to the government. It's against the fair share law. You have to sell it to them.
I'll make it simple for you. Tell them I won't accept payment. Now, they're welcome to come down here with their trucks and their guns and seize as much metal as they want.
That would be theft.
Damn, son. You're brighter than you look.
That excerpt was when Hank Reardon, owner of Reardon Steel, was talking to a government official who wanted to take his product for the government under a new law. This is from the movie Atlas Shrugged Part 2. And Harmon, I before we went to the break, and then I'll let you respond to that excerpt, I said that I'm concerned that the young generation of Hispanics and young whites and others may take the same pathway that Black Americans, most Blacks, not all, have taken over the last 50 years. Most Black Americans are addicted to the government, and each generation are being taught, the generations are being taught the same thing. And if other cultures allow this to happen in their race or whatever, I don't see how we're going to turn it around.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, first off, Ayn Rand was an advocate for the rights, of the individual.
Yeah.
And I think that, in her view, the choices that we make in our communities are one that should be made on a community level and not necessarily on a federal level.
Right.
And I think that when you if you really begin to understand, economics, there's a huge fear that people with money, financial resources, are not going to do, what's in the best interest of their community, and that really doesn't, make any sense. And so, what the government, because that fear exists, the government says, great, we'll just tax or take, from people with money, and we'll go do what we think they should be doing in their communities. And what that does is really usurp from the people who want to accomplish something and make for a better community. It usurps from them the resources needed to accomplish those various tasks. And it's something that, really the political parties need to look at, which is, this country was founded on the basis of opportunity and entrepreneurism.
Yeah.
And if you think about, the author, Ayn Rand, who was an immigrant to this country, and what she must have felt and smelled and seen when she arrived in this country in New York. What she saw was people moving around, trading with each other. She didn't see police, and she came from Russia. She came from a communist country, and we never have those moments if you're born in this country. You just take for granted that exists, and
Right.
And I think it instills this mentality that only immigrants, can really see, which is just the great opportunity that exists because the government isn't in our way.
Yes.
And so, in sort of the pursuit of benevolence and charity and all of these great concepts, the government decides that it's going to be the one to dictate how those various activities are accomplished. And as you've pointed out, they've done just a horrific job because people become addicted to these entitlements rather than empowered.
Yes, sir. Tell the folks, because of time here, tell the folks how to get this DVD.
Well, the DVD is going to come out on February 19th. It'll be available at all these the normal big box stores like Target and Walmart and Best Buy. If you're interested in our special edition version, which will be selling for the same price as those in those stores, go to our website, atlasshruggedmovie.com. If you want to associate with like-minded people who believe in the rights of the individual, we have an online community at gulchonline.com, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter if you want to get some more information.
Why is Hollywood so afraid of the message in Atlas Shrugged?
I think that's a big, good question. One of the reasons is that I think that they don't believe that there is a large audience in this country that supports that message. And the reason they don't believe that audience exists is because Hollywood really has never made movies for that audience. In fact, Hollywood makes movies for a very limited audience, and a lot of people, feel alienated or left out of the, mainstream entertainment products that come out of Hollywood. And fortunately, there are people like John Aglioloro and the other gentleman that joined us in financing and getting Atlas Shrugged produced for the screen that believe there really is an audience that supports movies with this, and that you've got to swim against the tide sometimes to satisfy that group of people.
My final question for you: the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, gave Hollywood a great tax cut after they helped to get him reelected. What do you think about that?
It's all I think it does is it shows that the cronyism, the corruption that exists back in D.C. It really is appalling to me that we are naive enough to think that that there's a level of benevolence in politics. It isn't. It's highly corrupt, and at the end of the day, it's the poor, it's the disadvantaged that end up paying the highest price.
Will there be a part 3 to
There
Atlas
is.
Shrugged?
The book is 1,100 pages. It's structured into 3 parts, and we look forward to producing part 3, hopefully having it out in theaters in 2014. And more importantly, another opportunity for you and I to chat about these great issues and hopefully get your audience and listeners excited about participating in our journey of bringing Atlas to the screen.
Well, you're doing a great job, and it's needed. And whatever I can do to help, let me know. And God bless you for what you're doing.
And God bless you, Reverend. Thank you so much for your time and support.
Anytime.